2025. A Saturday afternoon in Tanzania, a military officer goes on camera and tells his country, "Your government is stealing from you, and if we don't stop them, this nation will collapse." The man in that video is John Charles Tesha, a weapons instructor in the Tanzania Air Force, and he just did something that hasn't happened in Tanzania for 60 years. He's calling for the military to overthrow the government on camera, in uniform, live on social media. Within hours, this video is everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp groups exploding across East Africa. The government tried to delete it, but they were too late. 2 days later, Tesha is discharged. His whereabouts are unknown. So, why would a decorated officer throw away his entire career like this? What could make someone that desperate? The answer is President Samia Suluhu Hassan, Tanzania's first female president, the woman everyone thought would be different. Turns out, she's different, just not in the way people hoped. And that's where this story really begins. March 2021. Tanzania wakes up to shocking news. President John Magufuli is dead. The government says it was a heart condition, though it'd been missing for weeks and everyone suspects COVID. Darkly ironic, since Magufuli spent months telling people COVID didn't exist. Magufuli was intense. They called him the bulldozer. He'd show up unannounced at government offices and fire people on live TV. He built roads, renegotiated mining contracts so Tanzania got more money instead of foreign companies, and stood up to the World Bank. Many people loved that. Finally, someone fighting for Tanzania. But he also went after anyone who criticized him. He arrested journalists, shut down newspapers, and banned opposition rallies. People either loved him or hated him, no in between. After being missing for 18 days, the government finally announced his death, but refused to let independent doctors examine his body. Did he really die from a heart problem? Or was it COVID? Whatever you thought of Magufi, it felt real. Like he actually cared about Tanzania. So when he died, there was genuine grief. 2 days after Magufuli's death, Samia Suluhu Hassan takes the oath. First woman to lead Tanzania. First woman to lead any East African country. She's from Zanzibar, the island archipelago off the coast. Worked her way up through local government to minister, then vice president under Magufuli. She was 61 when she suddenly became president. The symbolism was huge. The international media celebrated. Finally, a woman leader. Things will change. And at first, it actually looked promising. She lifted some media bans, released a few political prisoners, started talking to the opposition, and even admitted COVID was real and encouraged people to get vaccinated. After 5 years of Magufuli's bulldozer approach, this felt like fresh air. Diplomats smiling. Tanzania was back on track. But here's what nobody paid enough attention to. Samia didn't just inherit the presidency. She inherited a system. Wait, let me explain. The CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi, Party of the Revolution in Swahili, has ruled Tanzania since 1977. That's 48 years. Every president has been CCM. Every parliament is dominated by the CCM. There are other parties. Elections happen, but somehow CCM always wins every single time. This party was formed in 1977, right after independence, when the mainland and Zanzibar's ruling parties merged. They wanted to unite the country under one vision, and that vision came from Julius Nyerere, Tanzania's first president. He believed in African socialism, self-reliance, and dignity for all. At the time, these were noble ideas. a united Tanzania building itself up without depending on former colonial masters. But here's what happens when one party rules for almost 50 years. The ideology fades away, the power stays, and eventually, staying in power becomes the only goal that matters. Surrounding Samia, the old guard, former presidents, retired generals, wealthy businessmen with government contracts. These are people who've survived every administration, every reform, every promise of change. They are not going anywhere, and they have no interest in letting a woman from Zanzibar dismantle what they've built. So Samia had a choice: fight them and risk losing power, or work with them and stay president. She chose power. 2021, reform started. 2022, they slowed down. 2023, they stopped. By 2024, we are back to the old playbook. Media crackdowns, opposition arrested. The woman who promised change has become the system. The question is no longer whether she changed, but how far she was willing to go to stay in power. Do you want proof? Let me show you. August 11, 2024. Police arrest over 500 people in one day. Opposition leaders, youth activists, journalists, all detained ahead of International Youth Day. Among them, Tundu Lissu, the main opposition leader, Freeman Mbowe, party chairman, John Emeka, secretary general, 500 youth supporters, 5 journalists. They are released within days, just long enough to send a warning. 3 weeks later, police made it official. All opposition protests are banned. You can't gather, you can't march, you can't demonstrate. But something even more horrifying was already happening. People were disappearing. The Tanganyika Law Society, Tanzania's bar association, documented 83 cases. 83 people who vanished under mysterious circumstances. People like Dionys Kipanya, Chadema party official. July 26th, he gets a phone call. Leave home, never seen again. Deusdedit Soka and Jacob Godwin Imle, both young Chadema activists. August 18th, witnesses say men claiming to be police took them. Still missing. Frank Mbise, motorcycle taxi driver. Same day as Soka and Imle. Wrong place, wrong time. Also gone. Then, September 6th, 2024, Ali Mohammed Kibao, senior Chadema member, is traveling by bus from Dar es Salaam to Tanga. He was abducted in broad daylight. Witnesses saw men take him.
Round 3. You're working on a project so huge, it'll take years to implement.
2 days later, his body was found dumped near the shore. The autopsy reveals severe beating, torture, and acid poured on his face. After Kibao's death, everything changed. People stopped talking openly. Activists went quiet on social media. Everyone understood. If they can do this to a senior opposition official in broad daylight, nobody is safe. By October 2024, families were desperate. Their loved ones had vanished. No answers, no justice. Then one of Tanzania's biggest newspapers, The Citizen, posted an animated video showing a cartoon character resembling President Samia sitting on a couch, remote in her hand, flipping through TV channels. On every channel, real families appeared, families whose loved ones had disappeared. People like Edgar Mwakalebela, who was abducted, Johari Songoro, whose husband vanished in May, Yusuf Chola, whose son was taken in August. At the end, the cartoon president looks visibly upset by all the complaints. The video went viral. Finally, someone had shown what everyone was whispering about. The government's response? Suspended the entire media company for 30 days. Not just The Citizen, all their platforms, their website, their social media, everything offline. The reason? The animation armed national unity. The Tanzania Communication Regulatory Authority said the content threatened peace and stability. But here's the thing. The families in that animation are real. Their missing loved ones are also real. The newspaper didn't just make the story up, they just showed it. Online, the debate exploded. Some defended the president. They are only attacking her because she's a woman. Men can't handle a female leader. Others fired back. Stop hiding behind gender. This is about freedom of speech. A dictator is a dictator, male or female. The gender debate become a distraction from the real question. What happened to those missing people? Which brings us to this man, Tundu Lissu, the main opposition leader, the guy the government really wants to silence, and they've tried before. You see, in September 2017, Lissu walks to his car after a parliament session. Gunmen open fire. 16 bullets hit him. He survives, barely. Spends 3 years in exile recovering, 19 surgeries. The attackers were never found. January 2023, he comes back to Tanzania, rebuilds the opposition, becomes party chairman, and then April 9th, 2025, police show up at his door with charges of treason, which carries the death penalty in Tanzania. His crime, giving a speech calling for electoral reforms. That's it. He said the election system needs fixing. They scheduled his trial, then postponed it. Scheduled again, postponed again. This has happened 5 times now. You know why? Because the trial isn't the point. Keeping him locked up is the point. Can't have the main opposition leader free during an election. When international lawyers tried to defend him, Martha Karua, a Kenyan lawyer, Boniface Mwangi, Kenyan activist, Agatha Atuhaire, Ugandan lawyer, even Willy Mutunga, former Chief Justice of Kenya, Tanzania detained and deported them at the airport. President Samia's response? She warned about foreign activists invading and interfering in Tanzania's affairs. The government isn't even pretending anymore. Now come October 18, 2025, 2 weeks after Tasha's video, something unexpected happened at the Kenya-Tanzania border. John Heche, deputy chairman of Chadema, the opposition party, tries to cross into Kenya to attend Raila Odinga's funeral. Kenya's former prime minister, opposition leader for decades, Pan-African icon. Immigration officials took Heche's passport and detained him. No reason given. He pulls out his phone, starts filming, then posted it online. Within 3 hours, hundreds of people show up. Young people, Kenyans and Tanzanians together. Most have never met Heche. They just saw the video and decided enough is enough. They surround the immigration office. No violence, no property damage, just people with their smartphones, making sure the world watches. 6 hours later, the government releases him. Think about that. A government that makes people disappear, that keeps opposition leaders in prison for months. They backed down in 6 hours because of a crowd with cameras. The youth just learned something powerful. When you show up together and the world is watching, governments think twice. Oh, and here's the best part. While opposition members were detained at the border, guess who attended Raila's funeral representing Tanzania? Vice President Philip Mpango, government ministers, former President Jakaya Kikwete, and businessman Rostam Aziz. Remember those last 2 names? They're about to come up again. Now, let's circle back to Captain Tasha, because everything I just told you, the disappearances, Lissu in prison, the border detention, Tasha saw all of it. And on October 4th, he decided he has had enough. I don't blame him. And you see, for over 2 hours, he talked. He accused specific people. Former President Kikwete, businessman Rostam Aziz. The same people I told you that attended Raila's funeral. He called them the deep state. He said they've been looting the country for years. He listed corruption scandal, the Richmond Energy deal, Tegeta escrow fraud, mining concessions sold cheap to cronies. Then his demand: the military should take over the government, stop the fake election coming up, investigate Magufi's death. Because you see, Tasha saw Magufi as a patriot, someone who stood up for Tanzania against foreign control. Tasha believes Samia and the CCM killed him, maybe not directly, but he thinks they are responsible. So in his mind, calling for a coup isn't treason, but loyalty. The video goes viral. People start calling him Ibrahim Traore wa Tanzania, comparing him to the soldier who took over Burkina Faso. But his message still spreading. Which brings us to now, Election Day, October 29th, 2025, just days away as I'm recording this. Samia is on the campaign trail. CCM is running a full campaign. Billboards everywhere, rallies, the whole show. But here's the setup. Main opposition leader, still in prison, facing the death penalty. The only other parties allowed to compete are so small, so weak, that political analysts, they openly call them CCM puppets. Parties that exist just to make it look like there is competition. Nicodemus Mindy, researcher at the Institute for Security Studies, tracked the pattern. CCM's vote share went from 58% in 2015 to 84% in 2020 to 99% in the 2024 local elections. The prediction for this election, 99% again. Observers have raised concerns, warning this won't be free or fair. But would that stop anything? Well, no. The election goes ahead regardless. But here's the sad part. Tanzania is beautiful, incredible people, rich culture. For 60 years, Tanzania was different. While its neighbor had coups and civil wars, Tanzania stayed calm, stable. The country that just worked until it didn't. Now, it's a system that pretends to be democratic while crushing everyone who actually tries to practice democracy. And when you criticize it, some will say you are just against women in power, that this is all sexism. Look, I've wanted a woman president as much as I've pushed for younger African leaders. But gender isn't the issue here. See what's actually happening. Disappearances, silenced media, rigged elections, and the opposition's locked up. Democracy is dying. History will not judge Samia not by whether she's male or female, but by what she did with the power when she had it. There's a Swahili proverb: when the monkey's day to die comes, all the trees become slippery. This story is not over yet.